please.
As long as we just kick at the schedule time, I think we'll take that for the rest of the season. Hey, thanks to everyone that stepped up today to make Trojans Live happen. We're a little bit undermanned, but made it happen, made it look good. JJ back in the house for it. Good to have you on Trojans Live and everyone watching. You heard from the coach. We want to see everyone at the Coliseum on Saturday. Thanks to Ben Conroy, everyone back at the ESPN LA studio. You can follow USC and Trojans Live on YouTube all season long. That's it for us. For Sean, for Keely, for JJ, I'm Jordan. Fight on, everybody.
This has been Trojans Live, presented by Monster Energy. Unleash the beast.
They've got a second and goal from the Purdue 3-yard line, now moving left to right as Lyons comes in motion. Got turned away here on a third down earlier. It'll be Mayava to keep it away from Wayman Jordan. He'll walk into the end zone behind the block of Walker Lyons, and that's a USC touchdown, and SC leads 9-0.
Tune in Monday nights at 6 p.m. on 710 ESPN and on the all-new ESPN LA app. And follow us on the ESPN LA Trojan Media Network. Trojans Live is an exclusive presentation of Play Fly Sports on 710 ESPN and the ESPN LA Trojan Media Network. Presented by Pachanga Resort Casino.
710 ESPN, your home for the 17-time world champion Lakers.
KSPN Los Angeles, a Good Karma Brands radio station. This is Lakers Talk on 710 ESPN,
where Lakers fans tap in for all the latest surrounding the purple and gold.
Lakers Talk is presented by Hoag Orthopedic Institute. When pain keeps you from doing what you love, Hoag Orthopedic Institute gets you back to you. Visit HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com to get the help you need today.
An off-season edition of Lakers Talk is on.
Here's Andy Kamenetsky.
Get your head in the game, Funchy. It's Lakers Talk. Andy Kamenetsky, ESPN LA 710 Funchy. Our stellar producer, he's got his eye on Monday Night Football, the first leg. I'm assuming there are some fantasy implications or some gambling implications. But in mid-September, there are starting to become implications for the Lakers because we are getting ever so closer to training camp opening up. It is the end of September, the last week of September. There will be media day. There will be training camp opening. There will be players put in front of us. And in 2 weeks, we will be officially underway with the Lakers. Thanks to everybody for being here 7 to 9 on Mondays. That is going to be our typical time during the fall and winter, unless we are preempted by Monday Night Football or a Lakers game or whoever we may be carrying. But as always, we appreciate you being here, listening right now, rocking in the YouTube channel, the comments section. We are always monitoring what you guys are saying, leaving comments, trying to implement them into the show. Thank you, as always, for being here. And really good show tonight. We're going to get into DeAndre Aton and an interesting stat that I saw last week from ESPN's Kevin Pelton about how the partnership with Luka Doncic could bring out the best in DeAndre Aton that we've seen in years from the Lakers' new big man, the best that we've seen since the 2021 Phoenix Suns run where they went to the finals. They lost to the Milwaukee Bucks that year. But DeAndre Aton, I think it was a career year for Aton. I think it was also pivotal, his play, in terms of Phoenix getting to the finals. So we're going to get into that. Some real estate news involving Luka Doncic that, beyond it being indicative of Luka having some serious FU money, the house that Luka has reportedly purchased, I think it also speaks to something important with Luka's mindset heading into this season, beyond the fact that he's about to move into a serious house and an awesome home. I think it means a little bit more than that. So I'm going to talk about that coming up at 7:30. Going to talk with Matt George, the host of Locked On Kings, also covers the Kings for ABC 10. Going to get an extensive breakdown of the Pacific Division, try to get into all 5 teams, like an extended interview, really get into the nitty-gritty of the Pacific Division that is going to be part of a very, very competitive Western Conference. Plus your calls, 877-710-ESPN, 710 ESPN with your calls. But we begin tonight with two reports. The first from Mark Stein, the Steinline Substack that everybody should be subscribing to, longtime NBA reporter, one of the best out there. And then from Dan Wojcicki, now covering the Lakers for The Athletic, friend of the show, obviously, that the Lakers are softening, maybe even changing what had been a very heavily reported prioritizing of the offseason of 2026, even the offseason of 2027, and cap space flexibility, not wanting to take on contracts that would go maybe even beyond 2026, but certainly into 2027 beyond. That was earmarked for the possibility of landing Giannis Antetokounmpo or Nikola Jokic or some superstar out there to pair up with Luka Doncic, theoretically just with cap space, and it was going to be a free agent thing. Now, instead, reportedly, according to Mark Stein and Dan Wojcicki, they are more open to players who could eat into that space. The idea that they would actually use, this coming offseason, they are set to potentially have boatloads of cap space. LeBron could be coming off the books. Austin Reeves could be coming off the books. Rui Hachimura could be coming off the books. Maxi Kleber, Gabe Vincent, depending on what happens with DeAndre Aton and or Marcus Smart. Like, there's a lot of potential space available for the Lakers. And there are reports now that the Lakers may actually be willing to use that space on actual players as opposed to the mere idea of a superstar or just general star effery. So what brought this on? The reported explanation from Dan Wojcicki is, in a nutshell, seeing Luka's absolutely dominant performance in Eurobasket, really carrying a Slovenian team that was low on talent compared to the eventual champion like Germany. Shout out, by the way, to old friend Dennis Schröder, who is now seriously a FIBA legend. Like
MVP at a tournament.
MVP of the tournament. There's some conversation about whether Dennis Schröder's overseas basketball career and what he has meant to the country of Germany, like other than obviously Dirk Nowitzki, who is the greatest player in German basketball history, I'm assuming.
Dennis is doing something that Dirk never did.
Right. Dennis is not, I think anybody would say, as good of a player as Dirk Nowitzki, but Dennis is, to your point, Funchy, achieving at a very high level in FIBA, Eurobasket, all those different tournaments. There's some talk that could make the case for Dennis's Hall of Fame candidacy, because remember, it is the Basketball Hall of Fame. It is not just the NBA Hall of Fame. I will leave that to people who care more about this stuff to debate it. Although I'm looking over it right now, like DeAndre's like frothing at the mouth to get into this. I'm just seeing his eyes right now. DeAndre's got opinions on Dennis Schröder in the Hall of Fame. I will say this though, and I think the one props I would give to Dennis as far as his NBA career, he's the rare player that I think has actually gotten better as he's gotten older, which is pretty impressive when you consider that he's a speed-based player. Like, a lot of speed-based players have issues as they age. I think Schroeder's actually become a better player. But, DeAndre, I can see that smile. If you want at some point in the show, I will turn the floor over to you, and you can can wax poetic on Dennis Schröder in the Hall of Fame. I'm just seeing this, man, like the look on your face.
I get it if you want to, try to petition him to get into the Hall of Fame.
I don't really care one way or the other.
I'm just saying, it's two separate, accolades that we're talking about here.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That's all.
Right. His NBA career would not put him into the Hall of Fame or anything close. It would be the strength of what he's done overseas combined with the fact that he is an NBA player.
I want to, for the record, I don't want people to. I'm not discrediting Dennis Schröder for what he has done overseas. He's done a lot overseas for Germany.
But anyway, the reported explanation for this stance shifting by the Lakers front office towards essentially hoarding cap space in the hopes of using it on Giannis or using it on Jokic. According to Dan Wojcicki, in a nutshell, it's essentially seeing Luka's performance in Eurobasket and he really was dominant out there, that it has essentially inspired the front office to become more aggressive towards the idea of building around Luka right now and just not wasting any time. Let's F and go. Let's do this around Luka. I got to be honest, that explanation on its face sounds ridiculous to me. Like the idea that Rob Pelinka watched Luka with Slovenia and all of a sudden realized Luka's a hooper. Like, what the hell was the whole max extension and immediately revolving the entire franchise around Luka from the moment that he arrived, if not the understanding that Luka is awesome, a generational superstar? This is the sort of thing that they should have been looking to do anyway. So I wonder if it's them perhaps sensing that the free agent options out there, either for like the truly elite superstars or the one tier below, maybe the options won't be out there the way that they thought they would be even just a couple months ago, so they're recalibrating. It could be them messaging aggressiveness because they actually feel like we're not going to be able to get some of the guys that we want, but we want to make sure everybody knows that we wanted to get them. So we're putting that out there, essentially, as Kendall Roy would say, control the narrative, control the narrative, control the narrative. It could also be, as I've suspected, that, and I've often said this, that the whole putting all of our eggs in the 2026, 2027, maybe we'll land a superstar, but in the meantime, we're essentially going to sit on 2 years of Luka's prime. That made no sense at all. That was just, frankly, stupid. Like, the idea that you would not maximize 2 of Luka's younger prime years for the outside chance that maybe Giannis at 33 could shake loose for you. Like, that's always struck me as I've put it, conveniently stupid. Like, maybe a message that others want to put out there about the Lakers that would feel believable, because the Lakers are known for their star effery, and I get it, but just it's such a dumb plan that I have never been able to fully buy into it. But whatever the case, this is the new narrative, and it's now swung us back to an old narrative, which involves Andrew Wiggins with the Miami Heat, and the Lakers reported interest in bringing in Wiggins, which would make sense. They need two-way play. They need, in particular, two-way play with a guy that can defend positions 1 through 3, guards, smaller wings. Andrew Wiggins can do that. He is also a solid scorer. He's been part of a championship team with the Warriors. In the past, it had been reported that the Lakers were not willing to make a trade for Wiggins because reportedly Miami was demanding a first-round pick, and the Lakers thought that was too high of a price to pay for a guy that will have at least likely 2 years left on his contract and is entering his 30s. Maybe they've softened their stance on that, but there's another reason that I want to get into that I think could be problematic if the Lakers are looking to get Andrew Wiggins right now. So get into that coming up next. Lakers Talk, Andy Kamenetsky, 710 ESPN.
Weekday mornings in L.A.
belong to the Sedano and Cap Morning Show.
Eat that fat one, Cap.
I'll eat it. I don't care.
Eat it.
Seriously. I don't give a schnoll. I'll eat that fat one.
A what?
A schnoll.
That's a new one. I don't give a schnoll.
Just popped out.
The Sedano and Cap Morning Show.
Pop it out.
What is a schnoll?
I may have just made it up.
Okay.
7 to 9 a.m. on 710 ESPN.
The all-new ESPN LA app.
And 9 to 10 a.m. for the YouTube-only hour at ESPN Los Angeles.
Pop it out.
Sure, I'll admit it. Fantasy football is my jam. Is that still a thing people say? Now your top reasons to visit Morongo.
Bring your A game and watch the big games all season.
Number 2.
Claim your retro piece diffuser September 23rd when you earn 500 points on your rewards card.
And the number 1 reason.
Nothing but a good time when Bret Michaels brings his Rock the World Tour to Morongo, November 21st.
Morongo, good times.
Chris Morales here. Addiction to opioids and stimulants can strip away the things that make you Uniquely you. This National Recovery Month, recover your life. Choose a proven addiction treatment option that's right for you at choosechangeca.org.
You know that feeling. You're finally asleep and bam, a leg cramp comes out of nowhere. Look, I played through pain, but waking up with a leg cramp at 3 a.m., that sucks. So I don't mess around anymore. I keep Highland's Leg Cramps PM on my nightstand. No groggy side effects, no harsh meds, just a fast, effective relief that lets me sleep through the night without the Charlie horse surprise. Get the sleep you need with Highland's Leg Cramps PM. Get it today at Walmart, Walgreens, or CVS. Highland's Leg Cramps PM, because you don't need a midnight workout.
Hey guys, it's Sedano. It's game time at Hernandez Wholesale Flooring. Just like LAFC protects their home turf, we help you protect yours with quality floors at unbeatable wholesale prices. No gimmicks, no markups, just deals every day. From waterproof hardwood to carpet, laminate to artificial grass, the crazy Hernandez brothers have you covered. Don't settle for anything less than a championship level home. Call them at 866-62-FLOOR, that's 866-62-FLOOR, or shop on the web, hernandezwholesaleflooring.net. No sale beats wholesale.
With Robinhood, not only can you trade individual stocks and ETFs, you can also seamlessly buy and sell crypto at low costs. Trade all in one place. Get started now on Robinhood. Trading crypto involves significant risk. Crypto trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Crypto LLC. Robinhood Crypto is licensed to engage in virtual currency business activity by the New York State Department of Financial Services. Crypto held through Robinhood Crypto is not FDIC insured or SIPC protected. Investing involves risk, including loss of principal. Securities trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC, a registered broker-dealer.
This college football moment is brought to you by Serve Pro.
College football teams have moments they recovered from and made it like it never even happened. Like on October 2nd, 1993, when the University of California faced a 30-0 halftime deficit to Oregon. Cal went on a remarkable 42-11 run in the second half to capture a 42-41 victory, one of the largest comebacks in college football history.
Serve Pro, like it never even happened.
710 ESPN.
The radio home of the purple and gold and the home of Lakers talk.
Lakers Talk is presented by Hoag Orthopedic Institute.
When pain keeps you from doing what you love, Hoag Orthopedic Institute gets you back to you. Visit HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com to get the help you need today.
More Lakers Talk with Andy Kamenetsky rolls on.
I'm going to take a guess. Roy Ayers?
No.
Who is this?
This is Baby Huey.
Baby Huey.
You know anything about him? I just learned about his story over the weekend.
Is he relatively new?
No.
Okay, then I'm thinking of someone completely different. He
was sort of came out in the late 60s.
Okay.
Kind of with the psychedelic kind of, era or whatever. And he died before his first debut album came out.
Oh, wow.
Which was produced by Curtis Mayfield.
Wow.
Yeah.
Curtis Mayfield had taste, man.
Mm-hmm.
Curtis Mayfield had taste. Reminder in about 15 minutes. He's one of my all-time favorites, man, Curtis Mayfield.
This is an interesting story about Baby Huey. Look it up.
Send me whatever you have. Text me whatever you have. I'm actually curious to learn about this. So, reminder in about 15 minutes, we're going to talk with Matt George from Locked on Kings and ABC 10. Preview the Pacific Division, part of what everybody expects is going to be a really competitive Western Conference, plus also your calls. 877-710-ESPN. Was talking before about the reports from Mark Stein and Dan Wojcicki about the Lakers softening what had been a very heavily reported stance on not wanting to take on any contracts that could push them past 2026, maybe even 2027, or 2027, but maybe even 2026, because they were looking to have as much cap space as possible in order to be able to, absorb Giannis or Nikola Jokic in the event of those guys springing free, becoming available as free agents. It's always struck me as a very unlikely concept, much less that they could do it just with cap space or whatever. Strikes me as more likely that they'd be able to do it with a trade, which means they need actual players, which in and of itself makes me happy that they're actually more open, at least reportedly, towards building an actual team. Because, A, it's a better use of their time now. B, I think it's actually going to make it easier to land the type of players that they want. But this has put Andrew Wiggins reportedly back on the Lakers' radar, somebody that the Lakers have reportedly been interested in. We've heard about this off and on all summer, but a first-round pick has reportedly been what the Miami Heat want in exchange for Rui and also, in exchange for Wiggins, but also the sticking point for the Lakers not wanting to include that. But another issue that I want to run past both you guys, DeAndre and Funchie, that I think could be there for a trade right now for Wiggins. Let's say they wanted to pull the trigger on this to get Wiggins in before training camp begins. There is essentially no way to do this for the Lakers without including Rui. Like, you basically have to do this in order to make the money work. The Lakers have a few contracts, like, say, Jackson Hayes, that they cannot include in a trade as salary filler, even if they wanted to, because of trade restrictions. Those guys are not going to be available until December 15th to trade. Gabe Vincent, Maxi Kleber, Dalton Knecht, that still does not add up to enough to match Wiggins, so you would need to include Rui. And on one hand, Andrew Wiggins does do some things that Rui wouldn't do for this team. He has more defensive versatility. He has better foot speed. He can guard a wider variety of players than Rui can. I mean, he's a better defender than Rui, period. But he can guard a wider variety on top of it. I think Rui's made some strides defensively, but he's not at Wiggins' level. The flip side, though, is Rui still brings a lot to this team. And he still has talent that I think this team needs. And because of that, I'm not sure that bringing in Wiggins, even with the areas that he fills that Rui can't, makes them so much better that it's worth giving up Rui in the first place. Like, I would like to find a way to bring in Wiggins while keeping Rui. And then you stack that talent on top of what you already have. Because Rui is in the top six. He's in the top 6 players on this team. And I think the gap between Rui and whoever you think is 7th, probably be either Jake LaRavia, Gabe Vincent, Vando if he stays healthy, whatever. But I think the gap at Marcus Smart, maybe. You know, we got to see if Marcus Smart can start bringing back some of his old form. But I don't – this team is pretty top-heavy as it is, DeAndre, and I feel like if possible, they need to add to the talent they have as opposed to swapping out. How much better do you think they get if you swap in Wiggins for Rui and Dalton, who might not be in the rotation anyway, and I guess whatever else is necessary to fill out the contracts?
I don't think they get that much better, if I'm being realistic.
Yeah.
Me personally, I wouldn't even have a trade for Andrew Wiggins at this point with the way the Lakers roster is constructed.
Why is that?
I don't think that you need to change your product of what you have right now. I think we're going into a full training camp with Luca Doncic and LeBron James. The Lakers are going to be able to figure out what needs to be done at the time coming before. Right now, trading before the season, no. But if you go couple months in before the trade deadline, and if there's some holes the Lakers need to fill, that will be a better time to make a deal for a player like Andrew Wiggins. But I don't think offensively Andrew Wiggins can help out the Lakers.
Well, Rui is a better shooter than Wiggins. Wiggins can shoot, but Rui is a much better shooter.
I just think that with what the Lakers have, Rui is a better fit for this team.
That's interesting.
And I mean that by a size purpose. And I do feel like Rui's going to take another leap into this year. And I want to give more time for this team. There's no need to fix something that's not broken right now. And again, I'm a big believer going into a full training camp with Luca Doncic is going to be really, really beneficial. And especially another year with JJ Redick. He's going to understand his mistakes that he made in the previous year in his rookie campaign. This is another year for JJ Redick to correct those little things. And I get it. Andrew Wiggins does a lot versatility on the defensive end of the floor. But at this point of his career, is it that same Andrew Wiggins player that we got? Are we going to get when he was with the Golden State Warriors?
That's a really interesting question. Someone hit me up with this on the Locked On Lakers YouTube channel comment section, which, by the way, available 5 days a week everywhere you get your podcast, Monday through Friday, always free. And for the sickos who like to watch, there is a YouTube component. little late into the
Yeah,
show.
23 minutes, man.
We got caught up in Dennis Schröder talk. Completely distracted me from the things that really matter, like naked self-promotion. But it is interesting. Someone brought that up, that like Wiggins, who is about to turn 30, if he loses even half a step defensively for the role that the Lakers want him to play, like specifically, like there is a need for what Wiggins can on paper provide that not really, there's nobody else on this team that could provide what Wiggins provides while also providing the offense that Wiggins would, because Marcus Smart, you only want to give that guy so green of a light with scoring. Like, you give him too green of, like, should be a very light green light. You need to see enough yellow in that green so he understands. And Vando, we need to see offensive utility from Vando before we actually determine that he can fill some of that void.
And don't you think that's what this whole training camp and that's where it comes into play, to put these guys in the right spots, in the right positions for them to be successful. And we see reports, the reason why they got Jake LaRavia is because he's able to space the floor in the way that the Lakers need. And they're saying that he's a better defender than what is shown on paper. So give him a chance before you try to go in and make a trade for Andrew Wiggins. We're going to have to give up a future first-round pick. And Dalton Connect, again, he might be out of the rotation. Who knows? But
you want to make sure that even if you trade him, you're making the best use of him in a trade.
Exactly.
You can only trade him once.
Exactly. and who knows? There might be a time where if Andrew Wiggins comes in this season where we see he might have a shooting slump, but he's not shooting. He's not providing the offense that the Lakers need, and that's where the offense gets stagnant. There's no real ball movement. There's no real player movement, stuff like that. And that's been the biggest issue with the Lakers, that we're watching one guy go one-on-one, and we don't want that to be the case, because in the system with Andrew Wiggins with the Golden State Warriors, he was able to have a more fluid offense because the way the spacing was. That's not going to be the case with this Lakers team.
Real quick before we go to break, and then we talk with Matt George from Locked On Kings. My girl, Robbie, East Long Beach. You're on Lakers Talk. What's up, Robbie?
What's going on, gentlemen? Hey, my thinking is, why don't they go after Jonathan Kaminga? You throw in Austin Reeves or Gabe Vincent or Dalton Connect and make a deal for Jonathan Kaminga. I'm sure he could sit off the bench. And I feel that maybe, just maybe, with DeAndre Aton, that this team is going to be really good and maybe get out of the first round and then maybe make a conference final 50-50. What's your take on that? Let's go Lakers. Woo! And all
Robbie.
the Lakers fans.
There you go. My thought with Jonathan Kaminga, he does not seem to me like a JJ Redick player at all.
At all, no.
Not even a little bit.
I don't know what player he is.
Very ball dominant. Believes that he's a one-on-one guy. It's like, that's not when you're really in your...
He can jump out the building, though.
He can. And I mean, look, there's something there that feels moldable into something. It seems, though, when Robbie brought up the idea of Jonathan Kaminga coming off the bench, there in and of itself speaks to some of the complexities with Kaminga, because that's not a role he's going to want. Jonathan Kaminga, it's very clear, is not going to be satisfied with a role coming off the bench, because if he was, he would have worked out this deal with the Golden State Warriors by now.
He was barely playing with the Warriors.
Yeah.
They weren't even playing him at certain
Although,
nights.
once they did play him in the Wolves series, he was their
production
leading
went up.
scorer.
The production went up.
Yeah, he is a very particular player to fit into what you're doing, and I don't picture him being who the Lakers would be looking for. But we're going to ask Matt George a little bit about Jonathan Kaminga, because as we preview the Pacific, the Kings, the team that Matt covers for Locked On Kings, they have been linked to Jonathan Kaminga. This whole mess, it is part of the Pacific Division. So that's coming up next. Lakers Talk, 710 ESPN.
It's a midweek Western Conference showdown. LAFC hit the road to face Real Salt Lake as the race for playoff positioning heats up.
And a goal! LAFC Son has scored!
Can the black and gold keep the momentum rolling? Catch all the action Wednesday night. Pre-game coverage begins at 6 p.m.
And the crowd erupts rooting for LAFC and Son Heung-min!
The home of Sun Heung-min and the black and gold is 710 ESPN and the ESPN LA app.
Slow drain, dips in water pressure? Call the experts at NextGen, the official AC plumbing and electrical company of SoCal sports fans. Get your stubborn drain working again with NextGen's expert drain clearing for just $88. Call 833-3NEXTGen or visit nextgenairandplumbing.com. CSOB number 1011173.
Hey guys, it's Cappy, and I want to talk to all the football fans out there. We make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. So don't miss the excitement of the season on Prize Picks, where it's so good to be right. And when I say that, here's what I mean. Dude, when you go 6 for 6 on Prize Picks, and believe me, I've done it many times because I'm right like that. It is so much fun to know that you are right and that you are going to score big time. Because sometimes when you make the right plays on Prize Picks, you go 6 for 6, man, you could increase your money by like 2,000 times. But you could also play the flex play. And when I say that, here's what I mean. You might go 5 for 6 and still make a lot of money. Prize Picks is so easy to play. You just pick your favorite players, and then they've got a stat projection, and you pick more or less, and you're going to have so much fun watching football when you're playing Prize Picks. Download the app today. Use the code CAPPY, K-A-P-P-Y. Make a $5 play. Get $50 in lineups. That's code CAPPY, K-A-P-P-Y. Prize Picks. It's good to be right.
One of LA's best kept secrets in the heart of Los Angeles, East Central Hotel offers effortless accommodations and unparalleled accessibility. The East Central Hotel is for everyone looking for entertainment with their trendy spacious rooms, a renovated gym, and a patio lounge for breakfast, dinner, and drinks. Stop by their incredible Nixo Lounge before your next event at LA Live. Book your stay at eastcentralhotel.com or call 213-748-1291 today at Entertainment's official address.
From kickoff to cash out, ESPN Bet has the tools you need to score more on game days. Bet smarter with stats at your fingertips. Get personalized parlays built just for you. And with your fantasy team synced right in the app, you can back your squad. Right now, new customers get $100 in bonus bets when you bet $10. Sign up with promo code USL to get started. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Grown-ups, don't go back to school. Go forward through school into your future as an IT professional. Whether you're starting out, switching careers, or a veteran ready for change, My Computer Career can help you get into IT in just a few short months with no prior experience. So take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu. Your rewarding career in IT awaits. That's mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including the VA benefits.
An off-season edition of Lakers Talk continues on 710 ESPN. Lakers Talk is presented by Hoag Orthopedic Institute.
When pain keeps you from doing what you love, Hoag Orthopedic Institute gets you back to you. Visit HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com to get the help you need today.
More Lakers Talk with Andy Kamenetsky rolls on.
A man we passed just tried to stare me down.
One of the ultimate songs about jealousy right there.
And when I looked at you,
he does not like what he sees. Withers does not like what he sees. Lakers Talk, Andy Kamenetsky, 710 ESPN. We're going to talk with Matt George from Locked on Kings and ABC 10 in just a second. Take a look at the Pacific Division and what I think is going to be part of an extremely competitive Western Conference. I think it's going to be as big of a bloodbath as we saw last season. I don't really think it's going to be getting any easier, and the Lakers are part of a division that is, I think, going to be both competitive. I think there's going to be some drama. I think there's going to be some messiness. I also think, though, for the time being, and I'll be curious to see what Matt George thinks of this, but DeAndre, I think the Lakers are the best team in the Pacific right now.
Oh, I believe that as well. Yeah, they're definitely the best team in the Pacific.
I actually think they're the best one, but Matt George's opinion matters in all this. He is the host of Locked on Kings, also covers all things Sacramento and the regional sports for ABC 10. My dude, Matt, how are you?
Of course you think the Lakers are the best team in the Pacific Division. Of course you do, Andy. It's a pleasure, my man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So let's begin. I'm going to try to get us through all 5 teams before we have to go to break, and then if possible, get maybe a little bit of thoughts on Jake LaRavia, because I know at least if I have to get to the Cliff Notes version of it, you only saw half a season of him in Sacramento, but you liked him. But we'll start with the Lakers. They lose Dorian Finney-Smith and Jordan Goodwin as far as guys in the rotation or semi in the rotation. They gained DeAndre Aton, Marcus Smart, Jake LaRavia. They didn't sacrifice any trade assets or talent to bring in their new guys. How much do you think they've improved their roster?
Well, I mean, you just tell me there's going to be a full season of Luka Doncic on that team, and I would tell you they're already a much better basketball team. As much as I want to poke fun, I do think the Lakers are the team to be in the Pacific Division. Bam! I don't know if I'd put them at the top of the Western Conference necessarily.
I said the Pacific Division. Pacific Division.
Well, because Andy, I think this Pacific Division is old as you know what. It's just a bunch of teams. Devin Booker sitting there in Phoenix, looking around, trying to play with a cactus, and then the rest really of these teams. The average age of these teams is like 34, except for poor Luka. So I'm very intrigued about what this Pacific Division is going to be. But look, you got Luka Doncic that apparently you can just get Luka Doncic via handout. Still not over that here in Sacramento. You have of course LeBron James. So I think the Lakers are an incredibly dangerous, talented roster. They can put everything together. And I think it's just a question of health over there too, just keeping as many bodies as possible or healthy in the games.
If you can, move maybe like 6 inches to your left or your right. We're having a bit of a connection issue. So maybe see if you just move a little bit over in either direction, we get a better signal. But you just mentioned Luka and the idea of a full season of Luka, Matt. We're talking with Matt George, Locked on Kings, also covers the Kings for ABC 10. Lakers Talk, Andy Kamenetsky, 710 ESPN. Been a lot of focus on Luka's conditioning this offseason, skinny Luka, the way he's played in Eurobasket, but also just the fitness and that commitment. I know there are skeptics about how long this will last, but assuming it does, where are the areas you're going to be watching most for with Luka and the potential benefits?
I mean, just the counter punch star power to LeBron James is what comes to mind, right? Like I imagine game planning for like the Kings play the Lakers game 3 of the season, right? At least for Sacramento. They come into Sacramento. I'm thinking, okay, what are you game planning for? Because if you're focusing all your attention on Luka Doncic like you would when the Dallas Mavericks came to town, well, there's this guy named LeBron James that's more than capable of playing at 60%.
We may have lost Matt George. We need to try to get a signal. Maybe we look to reconnect. We're losing you right now. So, okay. We got you there, Matt?
I'm going to move to a different location.
Okay.
See if this helps.
Move
It's a little bit spotty out here.
Okay. Let's have you move to a different part of your undisclosed location. We're keeping that under wraps for you right now. Matt George from Locked on Kings and ABC 10. Let me know when you're resettled.
Let's see. Let's try this.
Okay.
We're outside now. We're in the world.
All right. So you were saying about game planning for Luka.
Yeah, I mean, I just look at Luka and LeBron just as a two-headed monster, right? You have to, if you're focusing so heavily on one, the other one is more than capable of taking you out. And the strength that I look at with the Lakers now is no longer do you have to put all of the responsibility on the shoulders of arguably the greatest player of all time in LeBron James, right? I look at Luka as the guy that can handle and carry the brunt of that responsibility on a night-to-night basis, assuming, knock on wood, he stays healthy. And then you have LeBron James, who's more than capable of taking over a game at any given time and leading the Lakers in scoring one night or 10 straight nights. So I don't know if it's a conversation in Los Angeles of whose team is it? Who's the number one guy in LA? I don't think that they need to have a number one guy. They have two guys that are more than capable of being that, and every team, every night that plays them has to take a shot at trying to stop one of them, and hoping the other one doesn't have a massive night. So if you're game planning for the Lakers, I guess you're just hoping to slow down one of them as much as possible and hope that the other one doesn't do enough to win.
You mentioned age across the Pacific Division, which I think more than even any team leads us to the Clippers. Obviously, there is the stuff going on with Steve Ballmer and Kawhi Leonard and alleged cap circumvention, and that's going to play out. It'll be interesting to see how much, if at all, that becomes a distraction for the team, anything that lingers over them. But in the meantime, they lost Norm Powell. They bring in John Collins, who's reasonably young, but then they add Bradley Beal. And old friend, literally and figuratively, Chris Paul, new old friend, Brooke Lopez. Like, the Clippers are arguably deeper than they were last season, but they are definitely older. Like, what do you make of the moves they made this offseason?
Yeah, if it was 5 years ago, I'd say their depth is incredible. But like, I don't know how good your depth is when you have a number of guys on your roster that you're going to be lucky to play more than 55, 60 games. So, I mean, and that's not excluding what potentially could happen to Kawhi if punishment comes down from the league for this situation that Pablo Torre has put out there. So, I mean, I look at the Clippers, and I'm always kind of low on the Clippers, and not a disrespect to their franchise. I don't know what it is.
You've just ingratiated yourself well to our audience, Matt. So nice job.
Well, I'm not trying to make friends with Laker fans either. I'll get in trouble for that back here in Sacramento. But like, I don't believe it. Like, I don't buy it, and I haven't bought it for a while. And they have certainly an amount of talent. I am a notorious like James Harden hate watcher in the sense that anytime I watch James Harden play basketball, when he comes to Sacramento, no matter what team he's on, I'm just bored out of my mind with the way that he plays, and I don't know if he's capable of being a guy to really ultimately accomplish the main goal that the Clippers are trying to accomplish, which of course is winning a title. So the depth is there and the names are there. It's certainly a roster that you could point to a lot of guys and go, wow, that's a recognizable name or a recognizable figure. But I mean, that strikes me as a roster that's going to lead the league, Andy, in different starting lineups throughout the course of the season, just because of guys being banged up and load management and things like that. So I'm still not a believer in the Los Angeles Clippers.
Speaking of potentially messy situations, the Phoenix Suns, 36-46 last season, they missed the play-in. They trade Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, stretch and waive, which, side note, I think is insanity by them. They bring in Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, Mark Williams from Charlotte. They also drafted a big man project in Kamin Malioch. Like, it's basically a team that's a bunch of shooting guards and centers. They still don't have a point guard. But in particular, I think Jalen Green is kind of a wild card for this team, for this season, for their future. Do you see him and Devin Booker as pieces that can work together? Because if the answer is no, I don't think anything can work on this team.
Yeah, I mean, I just have to see it, truth be told. Like, I think Jalen Green is a very, very talented basketball player, and I think disrespected isn't the right word necessarily, but with the Houston Rockets and the rise of the Rockets last season, it always kind of felt like Jalen Green was on the outs or on the outside, and I think that painted kind of a picture of him not being worthy of the praise that the rest of that roster got under Ime Udoka with their jump last season. I think he's an incredibly talented basketball player, but I mean, if I'm Devin Booker, I'm looking around and going, what are we doing here? And even if I can make this work, what does work even look like? Like, what if I were to say or ask, what is the supposed strength of the Phoenix Suns? Is it playing with pace? Is it athleticism? Is it offense? I mean, I don't know much that I can expect from that team defensively, and this is coming from the Sacramento Kings perspective too. So I don't know. When it comes to the Kings, a lot of people have said they're curious, they're intrigued about how the Kings are going to look and how they're going to play and how everything's going to fit this season. I think I could use the same terminology about the Suns. Just what is this? What does it look like? And what is working? Like, what does working mean in Phoenix? I don't know what it is. So I think it's just going to be a lot of Devin Booker. And if they can figure something out, I think it speaks more to the star power and the legacy of Devin Booker being that dude.
Talking with Matt George from Locked On Kings and ABC 10, Lakers Talk, Andy Kamenetsky, 710 ESPN. You just mentioned the Kings, and I will admit, for me, I know we've talked about this before, but there is a WYD factor with them right now. Just what are you doing? Like, this roster, that reportedly that they want to offload Malik Monk so they can create space to bring in Russell Westbrook. They already have a ton of guys on this team who need the ball and don't defend. Like, it seems like we're a million years from the Beam era, but it was only like a couple of years. Like, what's going on in Sacto, Matt?
So the Sacramento Kings are that one fantasy team in your fantasy league that is just run by a guy who just picked names because he liked how they sounded, and that, or it's a Chicago Bulls fan took over the Kings organization and just decided to bring the Chicago Bulls out west.
When's
I don't know,
Vucevic
Andy.
arriving?
Yeah, honestly, well, let's just bring Alonzo Ball too while we're at it. I wouldn't have hated them doing that anyway this offseason. There's this. If I were to describe the Sacramento Kings in a word, it's just mid. Like, they're just mid. They're a team that this is exactly where you don't want to be, in my opinion. A team that is going to hover around a play-in spot. A team that, if you're talking about absolute ceilings, everything works. It's like maybe a 5th seed, but you also probably have to get some help around the league of injuries elsewhere and the West not being as good as we expect it to be. Like, it just feels like a group of guys that you threw together at a Drew League game, and you're hoping to make it work on the greatest basketball league on the planet for 82 games a year. That being said, like, it's an incredibly talented roster, and I am very intrigued to see how certain things can work and will work. The Malik Monk situation has been perplexing, but I think it simply comes down to, one, Monk doesn't seem to be part of the long-term vision of general manager Scott Perry and the Sacramento Kings going forward. And number two is Monk is the 4th highest paid player on the Kings roster. 2 of the 4 in Zach LaVine and Domantas Sabonis, you're not going to be able to move. Both those guys make only almost $50 million per year. The Bulls had a hard enough time moving LaVine until the Sacramento Kings just decided, sure, we'll move De'Aaron Fox and acquire him. Who cares? And then you have DeMar DeRozan, who makes $24 million a year, and I thought DeMar would be more than likely gone this summer, but it became pretty clear pretty quickly that new general manager Scott Perry wants DeMar around and views DeMar as an important piece to help establish this new foundation and culture that they're trying to establish here in Sacramento. So it's a whole lot of bewilderment with the potential of being fun. So I think that's the selling point for Sacramento Kings fans this season.
Okay, you guys, by the way, too, before I guess this would be the entryway into the Warriors, the Kings have been linked to Jonathan Kaminga, this stalemate that's been going on between him and the Warriors with Kaminga's restricted free agency, that ESPN just put out a piece, very detailed and well reported, about just it's become this impasse. Sacramento has apparently made attempts to try to come up with a deal for Kaminga. Like, what's your understanding of, I guess, if not entirely just the Kings' interest, your perspective on why this has just become such a mess?
Well, this has been a concept that for some reason has been so difficult for Warriors fan to understand. And maybe it's just because they've had such an incredible franchise that was a dynasty over the last decade and has had so much success that they're just not used to things not going their way. But like they might be in a position where, quote unquote, they hold all the cards because Kaminga is a restricted free agent, but they're in a position of not a lot of leverage because, one, they've ticked off Kaminga to the point where he's like, I'll just sign the qualifying offer. I don't care. Number two, there is no market like out there, period, this offseason, and there was none because of the apron system, and it's just the entire league is scared money right now. And the Warriors aren't in a position to like demand significant value for Kaminga. In the perspective of the Sacramento Kings, an opportunity to acquire a wing, which the Kings are severely lacking in depth other than Keegan Murray of a guy that's like 6'7", 6'8", 6'9". Like the opportunity to acquire a young player with upside that fits that need is there. But the Kings aren't looking at Jonathan Kaminga as the difference between them being a perennial playoff team title contender and where they are right now. So there's no desperation for the Sacramento Kings to acquire Jonathan Kaminga like there is desperation for the Golden State Warriors to work something out, because they're not just trying to save face with Jonathan Kaminga and this 2-timeline thing that they completely botched over the last handful of years. They're also trying to maximize their window with Steph Curry that's getting smaller and smaller and smaller every single year. That's why they want to sign Kaminga to this $24-25 million per year type deal, because that's a healthy enough contract to trade at the deadline to go star hunting to try and get Steph one more piece, one more partner, right? And I guess next to Steph and Jimmy Butler and Draymond. So the Warriors are not in a good spot with this entire situation. The Kings are content to be like, yeah, we'll offer you this package. We'll offer you Malik Monk and a protected first-round pick, But we're not going to go any further than that. And if you want to say no, fine, we'll kick our feet up. We'll watch what happens. And at the worst case scenario, we'll talk to Jonathan Kaminga next year when he's a unrestricted free agent. So the Kings are more than happy to kind of kick their feet up and watch the world burn.
And they're also, at times it feels like they are content to let their fans just watch the world burn as well. But I will agree with you. They are in the driver's seat, at least when it comes to this situation with the Warriors and Kaminga. There is no desperation on their part. There is no reason for them to make a bad deal. He is Matt George. He is the host of Locked On Kings. He covers all things Sacramento sports and the surrounding region for ABC 10. He is also going to be, he volunteered as tribute to be the ringmaster for an upcoming Pacific Division preview show for all of the hosts of teams in the Pacific Division for the Locked On Podcast Network. I will be there. Matt George is going to be trying to corral us animals. He's a braver man than me. Appreciate the time, brother. Thank you very much.
If that show isn't the fight scene from the Anchorman movie, then we didn't do a good enough job. So that's the goal. But, Andy, good to talk to you. Thanks for having me on. And L.A., fun to talk to you, a bunch of water stealers.
Whoa. Well, you know what? It's fair because it pained Matt George at the beginning of our conversation to concede that the Lakers are the best team in the Pacific Division on paper and probably in reality. So, you know, if he wants
that guy's from Sacramento?
He is from Sacramento.
Oh, come on,
But
Cowtown.
if he wants to throw out a water-stealing shot, again, I get it because he was...
They're like the same people that come up with a cowbell and stuff when Phil Jackson came in town. Remember them?
Yeah. Oh, Phil angered them. Phil made it even worse. But, again, Matt George, Locked On Kings, really, all joking aside, great coverage of the Kings and of just sports in that area. Coming up, take some of your calls. Patrick, hang in there. I'm going to get to you next. Maybe talk a little bit more about Jonathan Kaminga. Get into the Lakers and the potential pursuit of Andrew Wiggins. Your calls, 877-710-ESPN. Lakers Talk, 710 ESPN.
Looking for paint that actually lasts? Vista Paint delivers expert quality, rich color, and pro-trusted durability, backed by over 60 years of experience. From your home to your next big project, we've got you covered. Vista Paint, since 1956.
Hey, it's Cap. Inheriting a home can be overwhelming, but Seller's Advantage makes it easy. One customer shared, quote, inheriting a home felt like too much work. Seller's Advantage gave us a reasonable offer, handled everything, and closed in 3 weeks. I highly recommend them. Skip repairs and headaches. Call Seller's Advantage today at 888-390-AS-IS or visit sellersadvantage.com for your free cash offer.
DRE number 01961658.
Don't worry, sell happy with Seller's Advantage.
John Ireland here for Blue Ice Huckleberry Vodka, crafted with real mountain huckleberries, Idaho State fruit. Think blueberries, but richer. Try pairing it with lemonade. So refreshing. Blue Ice Vodka, because taste matters.
Chris Morales here. Addiction to opioids and stimulants can strip away the things that make you uniquely you. This National Recovery Month, recover your life. Choose a proven addiction treatment option that's right for you at choosechangeca.org.
Sure, I'll admit it. Fantasy football is my jam. Is that still a thing people say? Now your top reasons to visit Morongo.
Bring your A game and watch the big games all season.
Number 2.
Claim your retro piece diffuser September 23rd when you earn 500 points on your rewards card.
And the number 1 reason.
Nothing but a good time when Bret Michaels brings his Rock the World Tour to Morongo, November 21st.
Morongo, good times.
It's a midweek Western Conference showdown. LAFC hit the road to face Real Salt Lake as the race for playoff positioning heats up.
And a goal! LAFC's son Hugnet has scored!
Can the black and gold keep the momentum rolling?
Catch all the action Wednesday night. Pre-game coverage begins at 6 p.m.
And the crowd erupts rooting for LAFC and Son Hugnet!
The home of Sun Hung Min and the black and gold is 710 ESPN and the ESPN LA app.
This is Lakers Talk with Andy Kamenetsky.
Lakers Talk is presented by Hoag Orthopedic Institute. When pain keeps you from doing what you love, Hogue Orthopedic Institute gets you back to you. Visit HogueOrthopedicInstitute.com to get the help you need today.
Now back to Lakers Talk with Andy Kamenetsky.
My daughter, shout out, by the way, her team won their volleyball game today. I watched most of it before I had to get here.
Congratulations.
They won, and she texted me that she got on a serving role to bring home the final decisive set. So very proud of her and her team. But because she loves a lot of 80s movies, including Pretty in Pink, she's now heard this song, Try a Little Tenderness, Otis Redding, because it's part of that classic scene.
Oh, Jake.
Pretty in Pink. Oh, no, that's 16 Candles.
Oh, that's right.
Ducky is
Ducky.
singing this.
And James Spader, the bad guy in every 80s movie.
Oh, yeah. I love it. He's like smoking a cigarette
I
in the
know, and he's
hallway
just,
in the
like,
school
so
with a
smug.
blazer.
Yeah, he just... Yeah.
A blazer on.
I love him.
He is. He's wearing like a blazer with like a probably $2,000 silk suit.
Blaine. That's his name, right?
No, Blaine is Andrew McCarthy.
That's right. Blaine, yes, is Andrew McCarthy.
Steph
Yes,
is James Spader,
yes.
but she knows that song. It blew her mind when I told her that Otis Redding was only like 24 when he sang that, because he died so young.
Yeah, he did.
She thought he was at least in his 40s just by his voice. Is just one of the best voices ever.
Pretty in Pink and one of the best movies ever too.
Pretty in Pink is awesome. Pretty in Pink is she's actually, I'm very proud of her.
You know what I watched over the weekend? War Games. Remember that one?
Oh yeah, Matthew Broderick,
that was
Ali
a good
Sheedy.
one, man. Yeah.
Come to the conclusion your defense system sucks. Dabney Coleman playing the a-hole as always.
Would you like to play a game
of chess? Joshua.
Yeah, Joshua.
Warned us of nuclear war.
That's right. Thermonuclear war.
Thermonuclear war. About a game of tic-tac-toe.
That's right.
Patrick in Long Beach, you are on Lakers Talk. What's up, Patrick?
Hey, Andy, we've talked for forever, and it's been a long time since I've called. But something, and I really appreciate you taking me. Something that's bothered me like all summer is all the like pundits that talk about what the Lakers did this offseason, and there's like no excitement. They didn't really do much, and something I feel like if it was any other team, it would be like this A+ offseason that was amazing. The Lakers didn't have a center that after AD that averaged more than 4.5 rebounds a game, and they signed a center. Regardless of his work ethic and what he's done, has never averaged under 10 rebounds a game.
It's a big deal.
Amazing. Not even going to go into Marcus Smart. You have all these guys getting healthy. You have Rui that's had to play out of position for a year, who finally will get to play his position, who there was some stat that came out this year that was, I forget what it's called, but it's like per 12 possessions a game, he was number one in offensive efficiency. You bring everyone back, you fill the holes, you add Marcus Smart, you have Jake LaRavia, who's arguably an upgrade from anyone we had playing at the wing, and I just can't, I'm hoping you can shed some light on the lack of excitement for the Lakers, where it almost seems like it's the best upgrades they could have asked for.
Well, I appreciate the call there, Patrick, and I do agree that some of what the Lakers did this offseason has been downplayed, and I get it on some level. Like, there is a question of, can Marcus Smart return back, if not to the defensive player of the year form of a few years ago, because I think that's too big of an ask. He's a few years older now. He was surrounded by other stellar defensive players, which, even as good a defender as he is, that makes his job
Can I just notice, is it because the Lakers hit like singles and that got like a home run?
Well, I think there is an element of hitting singles. Like the Lakers, I don't think were in the position to have an A+ offseason, like to make the equivalent of the Kevin Durant trade. Like they were not in a position to do something like that. So I don't think you can grade them an A+, really for no other reason than I don't think an A+ was even there as a possibility. But I do think that they've had like a solid B+ offseason, particularly when you take into account what was realistically available for them as options. The fact that they managed to work the buyout market, bringing in rotation level players without losing anybody, other than Dorian Finney-Smith, who, Jake LaRavia, I think will do some of the things DFS did. And he's at least younger, hopefully ascending, as opposed to DFS, who played well for the Lakers last year, and I think he'll be missed in some ways, including the locker room, but he's getting older. You can see the effects of age with DFS. DeAndre Aton, for all of his faults, is a starting caliber center, period. Like, there's no debate about this. He is a starting caliber center. They brought him in for less than $10 million a year, giving up nothing. That's a win. Marcus Smart cost them nothing other than money. That's a win. Jake LaRavia is a reasonable deal for a guy that I think has some degree of upside even as a role player. They still managed to hang on to their first-round pick, the one that is currently available to trade. Dalton Connect, who hopefully can reestablish his utility as a player or his trade value, or perfect world, both. They did good work this offseason. I think people who cover the NBA can often be reluctant to look like they are hyping the Lakers, like they are getting in on the hype train, trying to blatantly milk the Lakers. So they will often downplay it. This is something I've said before. Like, even media pundits that I respect and think they do a good job, they will often on podcasts spend 10 minutes explaining why they're not going to talk about the Lakers as they talk about the Lakers, because they don't want to look like they're milking the Lakers, even though they are milking the Lakers, because Lakers are good for business. We all know this. That's why we're in the business with the Lakers. Coming up next, Luka Doncic has a new casa, and I will explain why I think buying a house matters for Luka and the Lakers. That's coming up next, 710 ESPN.
Hey, it's Mace. Listen up, people. We are taking the show on the road to my favorite spot in the home of the song of the summer, Total Wine and More. Join Mason and Ireland and the Laker girls at Total Wine and More in Beverly Hills, Friday, September 19th, starting at noon. That's 9527 West Pico Boulevard at Pico and Beverly. No better way to get ready for the fall football season and tailgating than Total Wine and More. See you Friday, September 19th at noon at Total Wine and More in Beverly Hills.
Hey, it's Chris Morales. You know, we joke around a lot that I almost died, which I almost did. I had severe heart failure. That's when I went to a Providence hospital in the emergency room. And here's the thing about heart care. It begins with trust. That's why Providence takes the time to listen, understand, and earn yours before making any decision about your care. For me, if it wasn't for Dr. Cobb and Katie Cornella at St. Joe's in Orange, they made me trust them and they made me know. And my health and my life were going to be even better once I got out of the hospital. Providence, caring with compassion in Southern California.
If your AC breaks down, call NextGen, the official AC plumbing and electrical company of SoCal sports fans. For a limited time, receive a free no-ozone air purifier with any new system installation. Call 833-3-NEXTGEN or visit nextgenairandplumbing.com. CSLB number 1011173.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer. Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that maintains a job bank, provides employment information, or gives job referrals, you may request to be placed on the station's mailing list for future career opportunities. To learn more about careers at Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
Hi, this is Sean McVay of your LA Rams. The Rams play here. KSPN, Los Angeles.
710 ESPN.
A Good Karma Brands radio station. This is Lakers Talk on 710 ESPN.
Where Lakers fans tap in for all the latest surrounding the purple and gold.
Lakers Talk is presented by Hoag Orthopedic Institute. When pain keeps you from doing what you love, Hoag Orthopedic Institute gets you back to you. Visit HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com to get the help you need today.
An off-season edition of Lakers Talk is on.
Here's Andy Kamenetsky.
877-710-ESPN if you want to weigh in on anything that we've talked about, anything that Matt George said from Locked On Kings, ABC 10 when we went through our Pacific Division preview, anything that we have discussed with the Lakers reportedly becoming more willing to perhaps eat into their projected cap space for 2026, even 2027, more excited at the prospect of aggressively making moves around Luka Doncic right now. Speaking of aggressive moves and Luka Doncic, he just bought a $25 million mansion, guys. Woo! $25 million in Manhattan Beach, because that is where all the wealthy folks go to hang out and play.
I heard John Allen lives there, too.
This is, to put it in perspective, just what a house this must be. This is too rich an area for John Ireland.
Whoa.
They would tell him to get his poor ass out of there.
Get out of here, really?
Yeah, they would say, get your poor ass on out of here. You don't qualify, John Ireland. And we know that John Ireland can buy and sell many of us many times over. But John Ireland cannot afford what is reportedly
Star effing driven town.
Sorry, John. That's 2-star effing driven a neighborhood over in Manhattan Beach that Luka Doncic is going to be living in. Like there's John can travel freely in
John needs a guest pass to come into that community.
Yeah, John can travel freely in most areas of Manhattan Beach, let's be honest. Like John is welcome in 99% of Manhattan Beach, but it's that 1% that even John Ireland cannot enter without letters of recommendation, his black Amex card, stuff like that. Luka Doncic, this is reportedly a $25 million purchase, this mansion. It includes, obviously, the view that anybody would expect buying at that price in Manhattan Beach, 5 bedrooms, a 2-lane bowling alley, an expansive pool, alfresco entertainment area, built-in barbecue center, outdoor fireplace on the outdoor deck.
Got a pit?
It does have a pit. It was also formerly owned by Maria Sharapova.
Get out of here.
Yes, it was Maria Sharapova, a tennis great, her former place, which means presumably, I mean, I don't know the exact timing of when she owned this home, but presumably Sasha Vujacic at some point was inside this home, meaning there's your connection, Slovenian and Slovenian, Sasha Vujacic.
Laker.
2 Slovenian Laker legends. I guess sort of 6 degrees of separation with this home. But as I was saying before, I think that this purchase speaks to something other than the fact that Luka Doncic has serious FU money. I actually think it is a great sign for his mindset heading into this season and his excitement with the Lakers, but also his comfort level with the Lakers. Because remember, Luka was completely sucker punched by that trade from Dallas here. Luka, like all of us, had no idea this was coming. And Luka was not only completely sucker punched, he was in the process of buying another home in Dallas. Like, that's how much Luka thought he was going to be carrying forth that legacy of Dirk Nowitzki, Dallas lifer. Dirk's final year was Luka's rookie year. Like, it is a literal and metaphorical passing of the baton. And Luka saw himself as a Mavericks lifer. Then he ends up getting completely upended, sideswiped, bad-mouthed on the way out, all of the bad messaging from Dallas and the narrative they were looking to create. Like, I would not have blamed Luka at all if, say, he decided to just rent this season, like settle himself in or whatever. Like, the idea that Luka is already making this level of a purchase, given everything that happened leading him here, I may be reading too much into this. This may be just like stupid dime store armchair psychiatry on my part. But I actually think that speaks to something really good for Luca and the Lakers moving forward, Funchy.
I don't know. I mean, I think a guy in his position, I think buying a house, I don't know. I mean, it's not a big
JJ
deal.
Redick had been renting.
I know it's not that big of a deal because I think, guys like that, I mean, people like me and you, it's hard for us to sell a house or whatever, but, once Luca, let's just say...
Dude, it's not easy to sell a $25 million home.
Yeah, but it's also easier for someone like him to sit on it, in case he got traded somewhere else or something,
Sure, but it's a pain in the ass.
It is.
Look,
It really is.
All these guys love to live in L.A. in the offseason, so maybe this is something Luca would want to buy anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But I couldn't just...
It's an investment.
Yeah, it's an investment for sure. I mean, hopefully...
Like, I know everything about housing now since I bought a house like a few months ago.
Really?
Yeah.
You're now a housing expert?
I'm a housing expert, yeah.
Now, is this going to be your forever home, or are you guys looking to flip?
I mean, ask us in 5 years.
Ask you in 5 years.
Yeah.
But
ask Luca in 5 years.
Well, if you ask the Lakers, and I would say, based on Luca buying this home, if you ask Luca, what is he in 5 years, the answer is a Laker. I mean, I know the Lakers are treating him like their next superstar for a decade. That's what they want. Luca is just entering his prime. He just turned 26. I think the Lakers hope he plays here till he is 36. That they get a great 10-year run with Luka Doncic, hopefully another couple championships or so. Like that's the goal. And again, you are correct. These guys have the ability to buy homes whenever they want. It is money that Luka can clearly afford. Maybe this is just me not knowing what this world is all about, and therefore I'm picturing it through the lens of somebody that...
But I'll tell you this, but like
I'm not sure I've ever been inside a $25 million home, much less been in the position to purchase
It seems
one.
like the longer and longer Luca has been here this last year or whatever, he's really got comfortable with the city of L.A.
Well, one of the things that you always hear about Luca, and maybe this is an extension of it with this home, Luca values loyalty a lot. And it's not just one of those things where he only measures it through the loyalty people show him, that he actually wants to show loyalty as well. Like, the idea of extending loyalty is important to Luca. Like, he will always play for Slovenia whenever he can. Like, he has made that very clear over the years. If he is healthy enough and available, he's going to do it, even though nobody would fault him for taking an off season and recharging. He's like, I am loyal to Slovenia. This means a lot to me. Luca, despite some ups and downs, I think, during his tenure in Dallas, had never even expressed an inkling of ever looking to leave. Again, he was purchasing a second home in Dallas when they traded him. So I think loyalty matters to Luca, and I think he wants to receive it as well, which is part of the reason why that trade really hurt him, beyond all the bad mouthing and the fatty messaging and all that stuff. Like, just he felt betrayed. So, but this, to me, if nothing else, feels like an extension of Luca looking for permanence here and wanting to play out the rest of his career with the Lakers, even though, as you point out, Bunchy, he can purchase this home. This can be his L.A. offseason home if it turned into that, whatever. But seeing him buy a home this soon after that sucker punch trade, that felt good to me. There's also, though, the question of what he can do for the rest of his teammates this coming season. In particular, DeAndre Aton. Kevin Pelton from ESPN had an interesting stat about the Luca effect with big men that I want to share. And I did some digging into numbers as well that I think should get Laker fans very excited about the prospect of DeAndre Aton and Luca playing together. So we'll get into that coming up next. 877-710 ESPN if you want to weigh in. Lakers Talk. Andy Kamenetsky, 710 ESPN.
710 ESPN is giving you a chance to win $1 million.
$1 Million Mondays.
$1 Million Mondays are back. Presented by Pechanga Resort Casino.
Listen every Monday during football season
To the Sedano and Cap Morning Show, Mason and Ireland, and the DeMarco and Travis Afternoon Show.
All you have to do is make a super prediction.
And you can win $1 million.
$1 Million Mondays presented by Pechanga Resort Casino. Play your perfect combination at Pechanga Resort Casino.
Vista Pay Paint is California's original paint company and has been serving pros and homeowners since 1956. Our paints are formulated for lasting performance, beautiful finishes, and made to withstand the weather. Vista Paint, locally made, expertly crafted, always reliable.
Los Angeles, your Rams return home to SoFi Stadium for a Week 4 showdown versus the Indianapolis Colts. You don't want to miss this AFC-NFC showdown, so bring all your energy and pack the Rams house. To purchase your tickets, head to therams.com/IND. Again, that is therams.com/IND. To see your Rams battle the Colts on Sunday, September 28th at 1:05 p.m. See you at the Rams house.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. We turn to some funny places for support, but not everyone is a therapist. Not everyone is the one. Find your right match with BetterHelp. As the largest online therapy provider in the world, BetterHelp can provide access to mental health professionals with a diverse variety of expertise. Find the one with BetterHelp. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at BetterHelp.com/timeout. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/timeout.
Hey, soccer fans, are you ready for a shot at some serious soccer excitement? San Antonio Cardinale Wine is giving you a chance to win tickets to a major upcoming soccer game. Imagine being there live, experiencing the thrill of world-class soccer firsthand. It's easy to enter. Just visit soccerdreamticket.com. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity from San Antonio Cardinale, your perfect game day wine. Head to soccerdreamticket.com now for details and your chance to score big.
Now that I'm a dad, I can't stop thinking about what would happen to my kids if something happened to me, like losing the house or not affording college.
Yeah, that used to keep me up at night too. It's why I finally got life insurance from Ethos. It's 100% online. No medical exams, just a few health questions. I got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day.
I never realized it was that simple. Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ETHOS.com/game.
Rates may vary. Bill monthly. Sample rate 10-year term life policy for a 35-year-old healthy non-smoking male. Are you ready to unleash the beast? Monster Energy is here to give you the edge this college tailgate season. Loaded with bold flavors, our powerful blend gives you the energy you need to push you beyond your limits. Tune in all season long with Monster, the energy drink of ESPN Radio College Football Tour. Power your performance with a drink that's as hungry for victory as you are. Crack open an ice-cold Monster and dominate your competition. Monster Energy. Unleash the beast. Grab yours today.
This is Lakers Talk with Andy Kamenetsky.
Lakers Talk is presented by Hoag Orthopedic Institute. When pain keeps you from doing what you love, Hoag Orthopedic Institute gets you back to you. Visit HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com to get the help you need today.
Now back to Lakers Talk with Andy Kamenetsky.
You're about to have DeMarco Farr run into the studio. That's his girl, man. Sade. That is DeMarco. You're going to learn this, DeAndre. You're not working with DeMarco. You're going to learn, man. He is a Sade man.
Ooh.
Like, if you want to just get him talking, get him excited, get him to just ramble on, bring up Sade.
If she just came back just to do like some kind of comeback concert or comeback tour, she would like just back up the Brinks truck for her, basically.
Oh, dude.
Seriously.
I saw, I don't remember where I saw it on social media, but I saw this photo probably from like the 80s, early 90s of Sade on stage with a guitar.
Mm-hmm.
And I sent it to DeMarco, and his response was something on the lines of like, this is perfection. Like, this is just absolute perfection to me. Like, he is just a huge Sade.
Seriously, if she ever came back, like, she just can just go anywhere, and anyone will pay him any amount of money to go see her.
Oh, yeah.
Seriously.
I mean, she's incredibly
It's like the
talented.
Barbra Streisand right now.
Yeah, she's incredibly talented, man. Lakers Talk, Andy Kamenetsky, 710 ESPN. DeAndre Aton, his talent, by the way, is something that has been widely debated since he entered the league, picked number 1 overall, ironically now, over Luca Doncic, same draft class. And the Lakers ended up getting DeAndre Aton after they reached a buyout, Team Aton, with the Portland Trail Blazers. They got him for $8.5 million, which in and of itself, I think is a massive win for the Lakers. Just the ability to get a player of DeAndre Ayton's caliber, definitive starting center, which the Lakers desperately needed, for under $10 million a year at a time where he should be motivated to be the best version of himself, because I'm not going to say that if things don't work out for DeAndre Ayton, that he's going to fall out of the league because he's too talented for that. But this is likely DeAndre Ayton's last chance at ever securing himself more than mid-level exception money. Like, I think with this setting, with Luka Doncic, Ron James, Austin Reeves, JJ Redick, the Lakers, if this does not work out for DeAndre Ayton, I think the NBA landscape in general is going to be convinced that the problem is Ayton. He doesn't want this badly enough for whatever reason.
He's got a lot of shoes to fill coming in that center role. I mean, they're going to expect a lot out of him in that center position because Jackson Days, don't get me wrong, didn't cut it for that big man role, and that's why the Lakers had to go into the smaller ball role with Dorian Finney-Smith, and that got exploited. But DeAndre Ayton is going to have to do a lot in that center position, not only scoring-wise, but he has to command on the defensive end of the floor. He has to set the tone on the end of the floor, whether it's rebounding, blocking shots. He's got to be able to set that tone on the defensive end of the floor.
Yeah, and look, the good news is even the version of DeAndre Ayton that is polarizing and has his detractors, like that guy is going to be considerably better than Jackson Hayes. Like he's just a better player than Jackson, period, even if he doesn't improve on any of the things that drive people crazy with Ayton around the league. But if he does actually start to go back to that version that we saw in 2021, where he was a key part of the Suns getting to the finals, that's huge for the Lakers. And there are reasons to think that it's possible. There's a little nugget from Kevin Pelton, ESPN, part of a piece getting into like some of the key acquisitions of the offseason and key questions with those acquisitions. And what he said about DeAndre Ayton, quote, this surely won't be Ayton's last chance to live up to the potential that earned him a max contract bought out by the Portland Trailblazers on the eve of free agency, but it might be his best. During Luka's NBA career, players who have screened for him have an effective field goal percentage of 63% when they end up shooting on that play. Best of any ball handler with at least 500 such plays, according to Genius IQ tracking. Then from Matt Moore, a piece that he wrote for Fansided, talking about, we had Matt Moore, I believe, on a couple weeks ago, talking about this piece that he wrote for Fansided about how he thinks the Lakers are overhyped, but their offseason has actually been underrated. And one of the things that he said about Ayton in particular was, quote, don't think of Ayton as the addition, adding the former number 1 overall pick, shipped out from Phoenix, waived 2 seasons later by the Blazers. Think of it as simply the Lakers added an elite pick-and-roll big man next to Luka Doncic. Ayton scored the 6th most points per game as the roll man in pick-and-roll last season via Synergy Sports. He's an elite lob threat, a big body who can set a screen, navigate space, with fewer major injury concerns than most bigs of his size and miles long. And I started thinking about that comp because we've got Luka now, and I think also LeBron as well. Like LeBron is going to be somebody that can really help bring out the best in DeAndre Ayton. But looking back to that season in 2021, where DeAndre Ayton had Chris Paul as his point guard, Chris Paul was the engine that really helped bring Phoenix to the finals the first time they'd been there since 1993, the only time they've been there since 1993. In 2021, DeAndre Ayton, 109 dunks, nearly 17% of his field goal attempts, the highest percentage of his career. Also during that 2021 season, 75% DeAndre Ayton shot in the restricted area, 52% in the non-restricted area paint, 84% on alley-oops of any kind, 94% on alley-oop dunks, 96% on all dunk attempts, 67% on tip shots. He also drew 97 shooting fouls in 2021, career high for him, 30 and ones that season, career high from him. And those are things where you benefit specifically from a point guard that can recognize, A, he's about to get fouled, B, I can get him the ball. Luka Doncic is as good as that type of court recognition and high IQ and ball placement as anybody in the league. And a close second may be LeBron. Like, I think this is something I talked about recently on Locked On Lakers, running past both you guys. I think Luca and LeBron, that's the best playmaking duo of any team in the league. Like, I don't think there's any team in the league with two playmakers better than Luca and LeBron. Agree, disagree? I realize I'm putting you guys both on the spot.
No, I think I agree. I agree. There's not a lineup that has two ball handlers like that.
Like the closest comps I could think of is, say, Nikola Jokic, who is as good a passer as anybody in the league, best passing big man ever, and Jamal Murray.
Yeah.
But that's the problem, is Jamal Murray's not as good as Luka or LeBron, even if you rightly put Jokic at their level. Like James Harden and this version of Chris Paul, some good playmaking, but not at that level. Steph and Draymond Green, good playmaking, not at that level.
No.
Like, I think those are the two best playmakers that any team in the league has. Then you throw in like Austin Reeves as your third playmaker. He might be the best third playmaking option in the league. That all, I think, DeAndre, really sets up well for the season that the Lakers need from DeAndre Ayton, but also presumably the season DeAndre Ayton wants to like reestablish the rest of his career.
What were we basing playmaking off of? As far as like getting to a spot and creating other shots for others? Is that where the playmaking is coming into? Because, I mean, you look at Golden State, like you said, Draymond Green and Steph Curry. I mean, the way that they're able to play off each other and the way Stephen Curry is consistently able to move around and Draymond Green's able to play inside and out. I mean, that's some level still playmaking, but I'm just curious.
It's really high. I mean, those two together are really high. That's one of the reasons those two pop to mind to me. I think when you are taking into account, like, overall court recognition, recognizing everything that's on the floor, the ability to anticipate, also the ability to see over essentially most coverages, like through your height, through that size, and the precision and the power to make some of these really difficult passes in really difficult spots. Like LeBron and Luka have size that Steph doesn't have, for example. Like Steph, a lot of his, I think you would agree, a lot of his passing ability comes from Steph's handle. Like his handle is elite. I think it's probably the most underrated part of his game. It's part of what sets up a lot of his shot making, but I think also sets up a lot of his playmaking. But Steph is still smaller than LeBron and Luka. And there's a strength that he doesn't have that I think prevents him from being able to make some of the passes that Luka and LeBron can make. Like, you can't play Steph as a playmaker, I think, like set him up in the post and have him work that way, the way you could set up Luka and LeBron to play make out of the post. Like, those would be ultimately the reasons that I would put LeBron and Luka over everybody else as a playmaking duo. I just think they have the most optionality and skill as playmakers.
The only thing is, I get it, and you know, this is the only option they had at the time for it is to get DeAndre Ayton, especially for the value that they got him at. Perfect fit for the Lakers, but all those statistics and stuff that we've seen in 2021, I would say a lot of that due as a lot of credit to Chris Paul,
absolutely,
and Devin Booker, who were demanding a lot out of him, and like, hey, look, I understand that you're coming in the rookie second, like, we need a lot out of you if you want to be into that big man role that we need to have success in this Western Conference. But we started to see a dip in DeAndre Ayton, and that did take a lot of toll because he was a big man that was doing a lot inside the paint, but you started to see him float around a lot in the perimeter, and that's the only thing that's going to worry me is that he's going to get too comfortable out in the perimeter instead of actually being that back to the basket guy, coming off a screen and come up a pick and rolling hard to the basket. Like, it's those little things that he has to want to do.
Okay, you know, you're leading me to an interesting place, DeAndre, because there's a comp that I wanted to get into anyway with DeAndre Ayton, and as you mentioned, the exit out of Phoenix was ugly, and his time in Portland underwhelmed. And the perception of DeAndre Ayton not necessarily wanting to do all of the things that teams would want from him, and frankly, all the asks that are needed, and that mindset. I think there's an interesting comp in terms of a track record of recent success for the Lakers that, again, should bring some optimism. So I'll run that by you. If you're waiting right now, hang in there. Going to get to you next as well, 877-710-ESPN. Lakers Talk, Andy Kamenetsky, 710 ESPN.
Your mornings just got a whole lot louder.
Two massive LA radio superstars.
Sedano and Cap have taken over Morning Drive on 710 ESPN.
Don't just listen, watch, stream, and connect across every platform.
Not a radio station, but a multi-platform operation. Okay?
7 to 9 a.m. on 710.
And 9 to 10 a.m. for the YouTube-only hour.
Because weekday mornings in L.A. belong to Sedano and Cap.
Hey, it's Chris Morales. You know, we joke around a lot that I almost died, which I almost did. I had severe heart failure. That's when I went to a Providence hospital in the emergency room. And here's the thing about heart care. It begins with trust. That's why Providence takes the time to listen, understand, and earn yours before making any decision about your care. For me, if it wasn't for Dr. Cobb and Katie Cornella at St. Joe's in Orange, they made me trust them and they made me know. And my health and my life were going to be even better once I got out of the hospital. Providence, caring with compassion in Southern California.
Hey, it's Mace. Listen up, people. We are taking the show on the road to my favorite spot in the home of the Song of the Summer, Total Wine and More. Join Mason in Ireland and the Laker girls at Total Wine and More in Beverly Hills, Friday, September 19th, starting at noon. That's 9527 West Pico Boulevard at Pico in Beverly. No better way to get ready for the fall football season and tailgating than Total Wine and More. See you Friday, September 19th at noon at Total Wine and More in Beverly Hills.
Accident or injury, call Jacob and Ronnie. Call Jacob.
Summer's here. You made it. And one of Jacob and Ronnie's new billboards says, don't just exist, live. It's the kind of message that hits you, especially if you're dealing with the aftermath of a crash or an injury. Jacob doesn't just handle cases. He helps people move forward, take their life back, and get the justice that they deserve. If you've been injured in any accident, don't settle for silence or pain. Call someone who's been standing up for LA families since the 90s. Jacob will fight for the maximum compensation, and you pay nothing unless he wins. When you call an attorney, you want one who's respected. So call Jacob, because he's the real deal. Call him at 844-24-JACOB. That's 844-24-JACOB, 844-24-JACOB, or visit him online at calljacob.com, a proud partner of the Rams, Lakers, and LAFC.
Accident or injury, call Jacob and Ronnie. Call Jacob.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments, including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, hims.com/joy.
An off-season edition of Lakers Talk continues on 710 ESPN. Lakers Talk is presented by Hoag Orthopedic Institute.
When pain keeps you from doing what you love, Hoag Orthopedic Institute gets you back to you. Visit HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com to get the help you need today.
More Lakers Talk with Andy Kamenetsky rolls on.
Lakers Talk, Andy Kamenetsky, 710 ESPN. Before I get to this comp with the Lakers and players turning around their perception, and a recent example of it that I think could bode well for DeAndre Aton, because as excited as I think most Laker fans are, just the idea that bringing in DeAndre Aton at this price, he's a legit starting center. He is far better qualified for the role than Jackson Hayes, and the Lakers needed a legit starting center. There have been concerns about his motivation and drive and consistent willingness to do things that really matter for teams that want to do something like the Lakers. Going to take a quick call from Matthew in Playa del Rey. You're on Lakers Talk. What's up, Matthew?
Hey, Andy.
first of all, I just want to shout out you and your brother. It feels like I've been following you guys since I've been in elementary school, sneaking into the school library.
Okay, I did not need that part of it, Matthew. Just say you've been a fan for a while. Thank you. You don't need to age the living bleep out of me. Thank you.
But no, really, thank you so much.
I do appreciate it. Thank you.
But one thing I want to touch upon is, we're talking about DeAndre Aton and the current team, but I think sometimes as fans, we don't really appreciate the larger picture. And this Kawhi Leonard situation has made me think about just how grateful I actually am to Jeannie Buss and Rob Pelinka. Because as you well know, in the 2019 offseason, he was the guy. I mean, we were all in for him.
Yep.
And that decision for him not to come to the Lakers might have been the best thing that happened for this team in this decade. If you look at our situation compared to where the Clippers were, I mean, both teams were in similar situations going into 2019. We've won a championship, albeit some people will say it's a bubble championship, but it still counts, right?
Absolutely.
And we went to another conference finals, right? And hey, we lost to the Nuggets. They were the better team. But if you look at the Clippers in that same stretch, they made it to one Western Conference Finals, and
without
I just
Kawhi.
think that sometimes
without Kawhi.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. And I think us as Lakers fans, we're always so impatient. We always want to, win a championship every year. But I do think this era, at least, through this decade, there's been a lot of underappreciation for where we could have been. Because I think you would see, I mean, we could be really, really screwed if we signed Kawhi and we gave up to Uncle Dennis's demands. But that's my point right there.
Appreciate the call there, Matthew. Oh, yeah. I mean, the Lakers dodged a massive bullet with Kawhi Leonard. Like, forget all the stuff going on right now and the league investigation and Pablo Torre finds out and the accusations of cap circumvention that I've said before on Locked On Lakers and on our air. I can only say what it looks like, and I've said from the beginning, this has looked to me like cap circumvention because there is nothing else that really makes sense for most of what has come out of this. But even like the information that we've learned and the contracts that Kawhi was getting and the timing of them and what was possibly in it for aspiration for this type of setup, like there seems very little explainable other than cap circumvention. But that piece of it aside, the amount of time that Kawhi Leonard has spent off the court, but the Clippers feeling like they are already pot committed in the Kawhi and for a long time Paul George era and having no choice but to keep reloading with their chips, pushing them all in, reloading their chips, pushing them all in.
And what's even worse about that whole thing is that they had to trade SGA to get Paul George.
Yeah, I mean, look, I am not going to pretend like at the time I thought that was a bad deal.
At the time,
right,
we all thought it was a great deal.
Right, and look, I liked SGA as a rookie player. I thought that he was going to be good, and I remember like maybe a couple years into his time at OKC saying, and I think you can find tweets if you look hard enough, care enough, like saying that I think SGA could turn into as good or better a player than Paul George. But I'm not going to beat up on the Clippers like this was a stupid trade at the time. Like the idea of getting Paul George and Kawhi Leonard in the moment.
Anyone would have done it.
Right. Look, the Lakers
tried to do it too.
The Lakers tried to get Paul George and they tried to get Kawhi Leonard. So the idea that this was stupid or, the Clippers got housed and they should have known better. Like, no, I'm not going to do this revisionist history where they were being idiots and everyone thought at the time. Like, nobody did. Everybody thought it was a great trade for the Clippers. It wasn't a dumb trade. It just has not worked out at all. But the Lakers dodged a lot in this Kawhi Leonard situation. I was mentioning before with DeAndre Aton and the questions of his internal motivation or perceived lack thereof. And, the lack of focus and professionalism, all that stuff. It is worth remembering that a lot of similar things were said about Rui when the Lakers traded for him. Like, Rui was a top 10 pick for the Wizards. Like a lot of things with the Wizards, it did not work out. his time with the Wizards, he was considered very inconsistent, only interested in scoring.
I mean, those teams suck, too.
Right. Only interested in scoring. That was it. He was also going through some personal issues that were never, to the best of my knowledge, fully reported. I have no idea really what it all was, but spent some time away from the team. I have no reason to believe that the personal issues had anything to do with the Wizards, but he did request a trade. He did want to move from there. He needed a fresh start. And the Lakers can look at Rui, and Jake LaRavia, I think, actually mentioned this specifically as like a player development success story. Because Rui is still, you know, I mean, when they brought in Rui, I think he was like 23 or 24. He was still a relatively young player. He has become a much better, you know, I think better rounded. He's not fully rounded. He's got his flaws, all that stuff, but he is a better player than the one the Lakers brought in. He's become, I think, more of a winning player. He's become part of a team that went to the Western Conference Finals. He's had some good playoff moments. Like, Rui is better than when he arrived. And I think that's something the Lakers can look at as a development, but also cultural success story. They're looking for the same thing from DeAndre Ayton, that DeAndre Ayton will ultimately, because of the presence of Luca and LeBron and JJ Redick, and the fact that this team has aspirations to do something beyond the fact that this is kind of last chance saloon for DeAndre Ayton if he wants to keep getting paid in this league at all. Like, this is a pretty good setting, I think, for DeAndre Ayton. Like, if he wants to, DeAndre, look to reestablish himself as, he's never going to live up to number one overall status. Like, that's not going to happen. But the Lakers don't need him to be like a number one overall player. It'd be great if he was, but they don't need that. Like, him being number one overall, that's not the Lakers' mistake. That's somebody else's mistake. They just need him to be a fully engaged, two-way presence as much as possible player. If he does that, the Lakers win.
Have they ever had to question Rui's energy and effort and his passion about the game?
The Lakers?
No, just in general. Because you
the Wizards, definitely. The Wizards, absolutely.
But again, to Funchy's point, that Wizards team was dreadful.
Yep.
It was a bad team. And
it's a bad organization.
Bad organization. And the way that roster, we can get all into that. But what I'm getting at is that I felt like you had to question Rui and all that stuff at the Wizards because of the setting that he was in.
Yeah.
But as soon as he came and got his trade request and he came over to the Lakers and stuff like that, you never had to question his energy.
He spent an offseason working out with LeBron.
But I'm saying you never had to question his energy. You never had to question his effort. You never had to question if he had passion and love for the game. All those things were with DeAndre Ayton, even when he was with the Suns, if he was motivated enough for himself internally, individually.
Well, except here's where I would – you're not wrong if you look at his entirety with the Suns. But the one area –
it carried over, with him on the Trailblazers.
Oh, sure.
And the storyline just kept on continuing over and over again. And honestly, it was the same thing, even when not with the Suns and with the Trailblazers. And it's now even carrying over to the Lakers, if that's going to be a concern for him, is that if he has that motivation factor. And with Rui, what I'm getting at is that you never had as soon as he got his trade request and he came over and he worked out with LeBron in the offseason, you never questioned his work ethic. You never had to question his passion for the game and how hard is he going to play every single night. Yes, did he have some games where he wasn't shooting well and that dictated what he was going to do throughout the game? Yes. But that is the biggest concern with DeAndre Ayton. The skill level is there. But you can't have individual in question if he's going to be passionate and love for the game every single night.
Well, absolutely. And look, I'm going to offer something of a defense for DeAndre Ayton, but I want to preface this defense by saying at the end of the day, your professionalism is on you. And it is on DeAndre Ayton to be professional even in settings that are not particularly desirable, not particularly fun. Like, it is, not winning. Like, it is on him to maintain the proper professionalism. And for what it's worth, during his exit interview, DeAndre Ayton acknowledged that he has a reputation as not a winning player, and it seemed to bother him. Now, it's easy to say the right things during an introductory press conference. You have to go out there and actually do it. But for the time being, these are the only things he can do. Like, he hasn't had an opportunity to play. When he was with Phoenix, that year that they went to the finals in 2021, there was a lot of reporting that DeAndre Ayton was told, look, we need you to do a lot of non-superstar stuff because we've got Chris Paul, we've got Devin Booker, we have Mikal Bridges. Like, we've got some
even had Cam Johnson, too.
Right.
Like, they had a lot of guys.
Right. We need you to do more dirty work, more rebounding, more stuff that isn't necessarily associated with number one overall numbers, that sort of thing. And DeAndre Ayton did all that stuff. Like, that season, he actually did it all. And then was told, well, you know what? If you get a big offer, we'll match it. But we're not going to proactively give you that contract. And while, again, it is on DeAndre Ayton to maintain professionalism in the face of that, I can see where that would disillusion a young player. Like, when you do all the things that you're asked to do, told that you will be rewarded for doing it, and then you don't get it. Then when he went to Portland, that was just a weird team. Like, they were going through post-Dame. They were a lot of young players, brand new coach in Chauncey Billups. Like, again, it's still on him to be professional. Like, I don't want to take that away, like his responsibility. Like, he's a grown-ass man. He's a professional. He's getting paid millions of dollars. There are things expected of you. I'm just saying I think the setting matters. And to your point, DeAndre, if those questions still linger with the Lakers, then at that point, I think everyone's just going to decide this is who DeAndre Ayton is. And if your team is situated well enough that you can ride that stuff out, great. If not, you'll pass on having him on your team. Either way, he's never getting paid the way he once was. And I think, like anybody, wants to be paid. Like, this is his last shot, I think, for that type of thing. It's a great opportunity in front of him, DeAndre. It's just, what does Ayton want? Because the opportunity's right in front of him.
It is, and there's a lot of factors that set in. That's like, okay, you know what you're at. That's, you know, with coming to the Lakers, you know that you have to literally play for your contract. So I hope that feels a lot more fire in him this season.
All right, we will close out as always with Crunch Time. Funchy's got the topics. DeAndre and I are going to weigh in. Lakers talk. Andy Kamenetsky, 710 ESPN.
They might stumble. They might fall.
So, I fall. Kind of, sort of frequently.
Yes.
But DeMarco and Travis always get back up.
During a 5K at Angel Stadium, I fall. Okay, this is my lot.
This is what he does.
Still at the golf course.
But you get back up.
I get so far.
Yeah, you get up. There you go.
Catch the DeMarco and Travis afternoon show weekdays 3 to 6 p.m. on 710 ESPN, the ESPN LA app, and streaming on YouTube at ESPN Los Angeles.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. We turn to some funny places for support, but not everyone is a therapist. Not everyone is the one. Find your right match with BetterHelp. As the largest online therapy provider in the world, BetterHelp can provide access to mental health professionals with a diverse variety of expertise. Find the one with BetterHelp. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at BetterHelp.com/timeout. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/timeout.
Field and Crown Tremble. The Morongo Band of Mission Indians invites you to the 34th Annual Thunder and Lightning Powwow. Enjoy authentic arts, crafts, and the cuisine of Native American culture. All are welcome to this free, family-friendly event. Call 888-MORONGO or go to morongopowwow.com for more information. The Thunder and Lightning Powwow, September 26th through the 28th.
Hey, John Ireland here for Thrive Cybersecurity. We all know in sports that defense wins games and turnovers kill you. That's also true in business. The truth is 1/3 of businesses will unwittingly turn over their sensitive company data to thieves this year. Don't let that happen to you. Remember this website, thrivenextgen.com/ESPN. Thrive starts with a comprehensive cyber risk assessment. Their security analysts identify gaps and deliver proactive solutions to help keep your network healthy and protected. It's not a matter of if, it's when. Get ready. Visit thrivenextgen.com/ESPN. That's thrivenextgen.com/ESPN. Play defense. Use Thrive and protect your business.
Chris Morales here. Addiction to opioids and stimulants can strip away the things that make you uniquely you. This National Recovery Month, recover your life. Choose a proven addiction treatment option that's right for you at choosechangeca.org.
It's crunch time on Lakers Talk.
When the clock is ticking and it's all coming down to the wire, you know what that means.
This is crunch time.
All right, as always on Lakers Talk, we close out with a little crunch time. Funchy's going to throw out some topics. DeAndre and I are going to weigh in. What you got there, Funchy?
All right, this came from the Mark Stein Substack column, and he's saying that Kevin Love could get bought out by the Utah Jazz, and he could be looking to come to one of the LA teams, mainly the Lakers or Clippers. Let's say Kevin Love gets bought out. Is that good for the Lakers, Andy?
I mean,
what is wrong with you? This guy had 30. This guy had 30 points and 30 rebounds in a game before. Come on.
What, like,
he's 37 years old.
Like in the aughts? Like when did that happen? Like, I want you to look that up. His 30-30 game. I am
definitely with the Timberwolves.
Like, yeah, I was gonna say it's probably.
I'm not gonna say it was with the Timberwolves, but
right.
Yes,
that's a long time ago. Like, remember, he was with the Timberwolves before he got traded for Andrew Wiggins to move over to Cleveland.
November 12th, 2010.
I'm about to say, wow.
I mean, bro, 20. Like, let's put this in perspective. In 2010, that was the year that Kobe and Powell repeated. Like, it's been a minute. It has been a minute. Look,
I mean, come on, man. Like, I'm not expecting him to play 20 to 30 minutes a game, but if you can just, be one of those guys that you break in case of emergency, and
I don't think the Lakers have enough depth that you bring in someone. First of all, they don't actually have enough space between their current payroll and the first apron.
And I was actually reading about that too. Yes,
and so
they have technically one more roster spot, but they have to get rid of some salary to get them.
I am not offloading a potentially more useful player than Kevin Love.
I'd rather have him than Vanderbilt.
What?
Seriously.
Get the F out of here. Are you out of your DeAndre? You agree with me? Like, that's insane.
That is insane right now. Yes, I mean.
That is insane.
I want whatever Funch ate today.
like mushrooms, acid,
or drinks. Whatever. What'd you have to drink today, Punch?
A lot of water. A lot of water. Holy
like
water.
Cut water. Right? No. I'd much rather have Vando. Plus, I don't want to give up either a useful player or give up an asset to offload somebody to make room for my 15th guy. Because, like, you
just don't like smart people on your team.
Got Luca and LeBron. I mean, like, got JJ Redick as the coach. How many more smart people do I need?
As many as you need.
Where are they going to, like, a bookmobile? Like, I mean, they're not giving lectures. All right. Are you passed too on this?
Passing, yeah.
I'm a pass.
I just, no, not at this point of his career.
No.
What's wrong with you people?
All right.
All right. So this also comes from the Mark Stein Substack. Klay Thompson hosted some Maverick teammates for a bonding camp in Newport Beach recently. Also, AD hosted a dinner with his teammates, but wasn't able to participate on on-court activities due to him recovering from eye surgery. And
will that guy wear goggles for bleep's sake, man?
Exactly.
Wear
James Worthy been saying the same for years.
Dude.
Is this good? Is this a good thing for teams to kind of bond with each other right before training camp like they're doing?
Yeah, absolutely. I remember the summer. Remember the summer where Kobe demanded a trade, doing a radio tour, like making this a big, ugly mess.
I want to go to the Clippers.
Or
the Bulls.
Or anywhere. Pluto. Threatened to play on Pluto. One of the, it took a lot of different things to get Kobe back on board with the Lakers, including just seeing the team was much better than he thought. Andrew Bynum was much further ahead than anybody had anticipated. But they did a training camp bonding thing. I want to say it was in Hawaii, where the Lakers often used to have that. But Lamar Odom, who was one of the consummate teammates of all time, Lamar brought over his personal chef. And he helped organize like a lot of team dinners.
It wasn't his Candyman guy. Right?
It was not his Candyman. No,
he didn't just pass out like sweet tarts and gummy
no.
bears,
This
right?
was like actual food.
Is it true that Lamar Odom had like a personal guy just to get him some candy?
If memory serves, yes.
See, I told you, DeAndre.
But it was not his chef. I want to make it clear.
No,
like his
that's
chef
it.
was an actual.
It was a man with a suitcase with a
saying.
bunch of candy on it.
Like that might have been. If I had to guess, that might have been his guy Mac. And shout out to
I think
Mac.
it was yes, his name was Mac.
Mac,
yes.
and by the way, Mac was awesome.
Yeah.
Shout
What's
out
his
to
go-to
Mac if
candy?
he happens to be listening. Lamar's go-to candy. I want to say he liked sweet tarts, and
Yeah,
I want to say he liked Starburst.
He didn't like the chocolate stuff.
He
He
likes
liked
the fruity-
he liked
the
the fruity
fruity
stuff. Yeah.
Yes, if I remember correctly, Lamar liked sweet tarts. He liked Starburst. By the way, Lamar Odom, maybe my favorite athlete I've ever covered. Like, that dude was so awesome. Like, just such a great, great person. Like, he's up there with Pau Gasol's, like, consummate teammates, Rony Turioff, consummate teammates. Rony was a great dude, man. Rony was awesome. Probably the first guy on the team that I got to know reasonably well on any level when I first started covering the Lakers.
What about DJ Benga?
DJ was awesome. Okay, really funny story. DJ, when he got, I don't remember, I think he was a buyout guy for the Lakers. They brought him in, and he was like a lot of guys when they first arrive in LA, particularly midseason, living in one of those high rises in Westwood, and he had never experienced an earthquake before, like in the Congo. He'd never experienced that, I guess, in Dallas or anywhere else where he had played. He asked like the doorman what that was at his place, explained it was an earthquake. DJ didn't want to be in his building anymore, like it was swaying too much or imagining swaying. He drove his car to an empty parking lot and just sat in his car waiting out like probably an hour past the earthquake, just everything being done. It freaked him out. He was also like a double or triple degree like black belt. You did not want to mess with DJ Benga. Like beyond the whole like 7-foot chiseled thing, like he really knew how to fight. Like you would not want to fight.
He's
DJ
like James
Benga.
Johnson, huh?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, look, like a lot of these guys who come from different parts of Africa, like DJ Benga saw some stuff. Like these guys live difficult, harsh lives. DJ Benga was among them. I don't remember all of his backstory, but there was some stuff that unfortunately affected his family. Like he saw some things over the Congo, but he was another really great dude. Appreciate Matt George from Locked On Kings and ABC 10 for dropping by. Thanks to everybody who called in, everybody in the Lakers Talk YouTube chat. I'm expecting it to get even more hopping as we get closer to the season beginning. Thanks as always to DeAndre. Thanks as always to Funchy. We will be back here next week, Monday, 7 to 9. Lakers Talk. Andy